Power Rangers Beast Morphers certainly lived up to the hype. Though many were worried of the show's quality dipping in Season 2, it delivered on its promised potential midway through. I already talked about how Beast Morphers fixed the show, but the different twists and turns in Season 2 easily cemented it as a great season for me. I'm JulioCoolio, and I want to talk about how Beast Morphers Season 2 is Morphinominal. Everyone and their mom knows about the phenomenon that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Even if the movies may feel a bit samey, their novelty comes from seeing so many different characters interact. So much so that Avengers Endgame is currently the highest grossing film ever. But before Marvel made it cool, EO, Power Rangers built its universe through references and team-ups. Oddly though, that development seemed to be ignored in the Neo Saban era. Even the show made to celebrate previous seasons barely featured any guest stars or references. Beast Morphers, though, feels more like an anniversary than that or Ninja Steel. It pushed the limits far beyond what we've seen in a while through 4 key elements. Firstly, the Ranger Vault. It's a subtle way to showcase past incarnations to a new audience. At the same time, older fans can see that most of the weapons make the backbone for those exclusive to Beast Morphers. It's only logical that newer powers would be inspired by older ones, as was almost the case in Lightspeed Rescue. The moment in the final battle where these weapons are used against Evox is not only eye candy, but makes sense within the context of GP's weapons being ineffective. As to why the Delta Enforcers are there, I have 2 theories. A, the SPD powers could have been archived in the morphing grid when they time traveled. Imagine if I went back in time and uploaded a clip from Beast Morphers. The clip would probably still be online when I came back. Or B, my headcanon, Beast Morphers happens after SPD. There's a lack of aliens, but the show's description mentions it's set in the future. SPD's New Tech City could be a sanctuary city where aliens tend to stay after immigrating, much like Miami is to Cubans. The next step in world building comes from an unexpected ally. In line with Ninja Steel's Jiraiya episode, Beast Morphers introduces Captain Chaku using the Gavin crossover episodes. Despite his brief appearance, Chaku is a memorable character. His moral obligation to justice at the cost of solitude gives him an air of mystery. His enemy, Ryjack, was also neatly weaved in. Apart from him being the reason Chaku can't stop, his fascination with powerful weapons perfectly ties into Evox's next plan. These episodes felt like a modern friend in need. It makes you think about what other forces are fighting for justice in the universe. I know I've said this countless times, but I still strongly suspect Hasbro wants to set up a future event using the latest Metal Heroes projects. While Chaku's heroic days end with the 2-parter, a little more effects could help him power up one more time. This all accumulates to the hyped up Dino team-up. While it's more like an extended Dino Charge crossover featuring Jason, this multi-part arc hits home with the references. Nate, Ravi, Blaze, and Roxy mentioned that they learned about past seasons in Ranger History class. This reinforces how the Rangers' existence has changed the world, to the point where they're now the subject of research and their energy powers the world. Going back to Marvel, it's like that picture of Bruce Banner in Peter's classroom during Spider-Man Homecoming. The appearance of the Dino Charge Rangers also felt a lot like the 90s Fantastic Four cartoon, where other Marvel heroes would come out to help on certain missions. Even the villains acknowledged their predecessors to a clip show episode. Coincidentally, all the villains featured have had some media exposure as of late. While people criticize the redub of older footage and characters not sounding like themselves, I didn't mind it too much personally. There were technical reasons for doing this, and the redub lines don't last long or sound reasonably alright. And I'm sure Hasbro wouldn't want to deal with another Gala Ranger vs Super Sentai situation, where you could clearly hear the background track and the characters' audios. Another strong piece of continuity is the use of the morphing grid. Before the meteor strikes Devon, we have seen the grid is capable of many abilities. In Dino Thunder, it showed Kira and Ethan visions of the SPD team. In SPD, It allowed the Dino Rangers to restore their powers. Now, it can enable Rangers and allies from multiple dimensions to learn about each other's history, like when Dr. K told Devin about Zenowing and the split emitters. The Morphing Grid has become the Power Rangers' equivalent to the Force, in a sense that they're both energy fields connecting all who use them. But by far the biggest Easter egg is Evox's reveal as Venjix.
NANI?!
It strengthens the apparent similarities between these two villains, but the reveal makes Beast Morphers a pseudo-sequel of RPM. It's much like how Dejiman's Queen Hedrian returned for Sun Vulcan. Unlike Sun Vulcan though, this bond is cemented by a member of the older team consulting the rookies. The characters' reactions are a perfect example of show don't tell. Even if you've never seen RPM, Nate's paranoia and conversations with Dr. K set the stage for how dangerous Venjix is. I have to give major props to Chip Lynn for remembering his cliffhanger and finally concluding it. I've advocated that Power Rangers can become the next Marvel if handled right, and recent news seems to indicate that's the direction they're heading. Through references of past seasons and even cameos, Hasbro is finally on its way to showing everyone how expansive the Power Rangers universe truly is. Anyone who's seen my videos can pick up that I prefer character drama to be accompanied by exciting action, not overtaken by it. Despite having its flaws, I love how Lupin Ranger vs. Powder Ranger was more of a character study than an action show. Real Soldier has some fantastic cinematography and designs, but the first few episodes didn't invest me enough as they lacked a real story direction. They were more in a rush to introduce new toys than anything. As I mentioned last time, Season 1 of Beast Morphers did a great job of using character motivations to set up development arcs early on. Now that the show is completed, we can see the results of these arcs. Devin grows from someone trying to find his purpose to a respectable leader. Even if he may seem too relaxed at times, he's serious about his ranger duties. The speech before the final battle is the culminating moment of this, especially as Mayor Daniel sees how far his son has come. Though a better showcase occurs in the Evox snare. Despite everyone thinking that the arrow is the best plan, Devin endlessly searches for another way. And just when it seems like he's letting his feelings get the best of him, he smartly uses the split emitters to separate his dad and Evox. Ravi's art skills allow him to loosen up a bit. He sees that being committed to a cause doesn't mean he has to abandon his personal desires. By revealing his talent to his mom, he shows that he can balance responsibility and fun. Unfortunately, Zoe's main character trait seems to be accidental screw-ups, whether it's damaging the teleporters or melting her brother's fossil. Despite how these incidents should make Zoe look inept, I feel the writers balance this out with her determination. For someone who wants to be a helping hand, it's fitting for her to try to adjust to anything she gets thrown her way.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
Nate finally finds a family with the Ranger team. I could bring up his relationship with Zoe, but Golden Opportunity goes further with this idea. He could have went to Costa Rica with his parents like he always wanted, but before leaving, he realizes that what he thought he wanted isn't it at all. The team has become the family he didn't have, supporting him in battle and emotionally. In return, he serves as the team's brain. They would be lost without him, and leaving them would be like a betrayal. But the real MVP of the show is hands down Steel. Last time I didn't discuss him much as he debuted recently, but I've grown to love this character for his wholesomeness. He's just a fun guy who wants to make the most out of living and understanding the world. He values his life so much that he's willing to give up his own to save others numerous times. It reminds me of Zane's arc in Ninjago Season 3. One of the best examples in Season 2 is the episode where he switches bodies with Nate. He's so excited about finally being a real boy, even if it's for a short time. His song also helps cement his joy of being able to do things we take for granted. It's a beautiful message about appreciating life, even if it may feel more at home in a Disney movie. Some may say his full transformation at the end felt like a cop-out, And while Steel learning to accept his robotic self could have been an interesting arc, I think the final result was equally great. He well deserves a real life after everything he's done. I've been trying to bring this up, but how has no one seen the comparisons of Full Metal Alchemist? You have two genius brothers fighting the forces of evil, one of whom is a suit of armor. Their parents are absent for reasons, and only return every so often. The younger brother is granted a fully human life after sacrificing himself to deal a significant blow to the enemy. On the villain side, Evox is the true MVP. He's more of an intellectual type working behind the scenes. This can be seen numerous times. For example, when he uses the mayor's body to expand the MorphX project. He also tricks Ryjack into getting himself destroyed so he could use his relics. His reveal as Venjix may seem unexpected, given his current brasher attitude. But this all makes sense in hindsight. Venjix won through outsmarting his enemies. The difference this time is that he's in a weakened state, and Grid Battle Force is prepared. And keep in mind only a single piece of Venjix escaped at first, which the snake DNA could have modified. Sadly, I can't say the same for the other villains. Scrozzle, Blaze, and Roxy don't change much, but their deliciously wicked portrayals make them as entertaining as in Season 1. I also feel this way about the side characters like the Burke siblings, Human Blaze and Roxy, and the Beast Bots. But as you can see, the evolutions of the main characters end up working phenomenally. I feel having a smaller team and a lack of executive meddling allowed the writers to show their true talent in developing relatable people. Overall, Beast Morphers has been an enjoyable ride. While it still can't top SPD or RPM in my books, BM turned out to be a spectacular watch, far better than I, or anyone really, expected. 2020 has been a crazy year, but watching these episodes has given me something to be excited about. Between this, Kira Major, Kamen Rider Saber, and Kamen Rider 01, it's a year of absolute bangers for Toku. Beast Morphers is a splendid start to a new era that will surely entertain new and old fans. Hopefully the excitement and passion put into the show will permeate through Dino Fury and beyond. What do you think of Beast Morphers Season 2? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay updated on the latest videos. If you want more things Coolio, make sure to follow me on social media. Well, I'm Julio, stay Coolio, and thanks for watching everyone!